Started as an East Coast vibe, now I'm going worldwide. We got this bitch going crazy. I used to take the Mazda for a drive, now I'm on the 405 like it's fuck you, pay me. We really sick of standing outside, had to push them all aside. It's what you get for trying to play me. I bet they make a movie when I die just to talk about my life. They need an actor to portray me. I got this motherfucker clear like an eye drop. I got elevator flow on a high top. I got little something stacked like an IHOP. This is 05, you will put it on your iPod. I'ma give you something that you can't forget. Put the price up, baby, add the tax a bit. Know you saw the comma, thought it was an accident. Well, it wasn't. It's about time the kids buzzing. I'm trying to get a peek in the elevator. But if we talking peaks, I need mine like the Himalayas. I'm talking yay high, man. I never had a vertical limit. I ain't seen you put in work in a minute. I gotta put on for the family. That goes for every person that's in it. Used to scrape by working as a service attendant till I got more. Bitch, I ain't comfy. I need the top floor. Doing anything to get that spot for. Pop off. Started as an East Coast vibe. Now I'm going worldwide. We got this bitch going.
You're ready for a show? You're ready for a show?
Had to push them all aside, it's what you get for trying to play me. I bet they make a movie when I die just to talk about my life. They need an actor to portray. I ain't settling for nothing that be under an M. There's only one of me, there's 100 of them. Gotta listen close, I drop hundreds of gems. From the start, no, I wasn't pretend. With the world on my back, had to drop my own ego. Problems at the crib, we couldn't fix at Home Depot. Dad was on tilt, mom's off the vino. Room full of smoke like we lived in a casino. She know, day I moved out is when I opened my eyes. Looking for the truth like God, show me a sign. I'm not religious or the holiest kind, but the blessings came to me when I opened my mind. I was running around the city, man, I knew I had to make some. Wasn't raised a thief, but if I had to, I would take some. Worked the Frito-Lay, I was writing on my break, son. Plotting on a record, waiting for the day we break one. Nah, I was just, no, I'm really busy, just wrapping up some stuff in the studio. Yeah, everything's good. I mean, it's just been a lot of, like, settling in and whatnot. Yeah. I'm not really sure when I'm coming back. I don't have any plans of it right now.
I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of this. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve.
Hey everybody, what is going on? You guys want to hear something? I'm starting to show off quick like a firecracker today, Derek. I gotta tell you something. You know what's so amazing about today?
What's that?
We had a game season live and a recap.
Yeah, man. This is like it's almost like Christmas to me. You know, it's like a holiday. You know, I look forward to this all winter, and I mean, it feels good. And now that it's over, I'm immediately thinking about tomorrow. It's like, let's get tomorrow started, baby.
Yeah, facts. I mean, I was like, and the good thing for me is, I don't know if you feel the same way. For me, man, it's just so natural calling games, man. It feels so good calling games.
You know, I wouldn't say that it's natural for me. I think doing my producing and all my editing and all that stuff feels natural. I still am getting used to speaking in front of people. They say that public speaking is the number one fear in the world, and number two is death, which means to the average person, if they're at a funeral, they would rather be in the casket than giving the eulogy. I think I fall into that category, but in order to, build something like NYY Recaps, it's kind of like, a necessary thing that I've had to conquer those demons, and I'm getting used to it.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. And the cool thing is, to be fair, we had some baseball, so that makes it easier. It's not like, we're just going out there talking about whatever. We got some baseball, and man, oh man, I mean, the first couple of games of spring training, we got some Yankee prospects that are kind of showing off a little bit. They're like, hey guys, this is why you've heard about us. We're gonna put on a show.
I gotta say, I have not been this excited about baby bombers since really since 2017. It's a shame that all fell apart, but these kids, they look tremendous. They're living up to the hype so far. I mean, even guys like Sweeney today with the big double. I mean, we saw some good stuff.
Chaparro.
Yeah. Oh man, that was a
Chaparro
nuke.
hit it. We're gonna show that. We're gonna show a lot of those clips today, but I mean, really, just like you just said, man, out the gate, we're hearing so much about these guys. Everybody's hype about them already. Everybody wants to see them, and we've seen them today. And I think the cool thing is, really, we're gonna speak about each guy individually, but I think we've already got to see a lot of the words that are said about these guys, why people are hyped about it. We kind of seen it in action already.
Oh yeah.
Which makes it even better for us. So we're kind of seeing what the hype is.
Yeah. So yesterday, I think, everything that we've heard about the Martian, about Jasson, is that, it's an all-around game. And, everybody wants to talk about the home run, the 420-foot home run, the exit velocity. I saw a lot of good things from Jasson yesterday. You mentioned it during our warm-up. The hustle down the line. He almost beat out a ground ball to first base, and it wasn't a high chopper. This guy knocked the shit out of it and still almost beat it out.
And it was, by the way, too, it was right to first base. So it wasn't like he had to range over. It was right there.
He hit the ball and was out of the box like that. But, earlier in that at-bat, the first two pitches were tough, nasty pitchers, sinkers on the outside corner at 95. He took both of them just off the plate. And for a kid who's in his first ever spring training at bat, 20 years old, I mean, I'll tell you, when I'm 20 years old, I didn't have the patience to take a pitch like that. I'd have been swinging out of my shoes. And I thought he'd be swinging. I thought he'd be aggressive. But no, he spat on two really close pitches, got ahead 3-0 in the count, and then let loose. And then his next time up, it was a high fastball, and he got on top of it. And that's not easy to do. Yeah. That pitch, you don't see a lot of guys hit that pitch. He almost kind of hooked it. Yeah. And he just absolutely mashed it. And he didn't really showboat much, but he kind of took his time watching it and then had a nice, comfortable trot, was all smiles in the dugout. And I got to say, everything that I've heard about this young man, I like. And yesterday was just so good to see it.
Yeah, I'm showing it right now on the screen for everybody to see. Mind the bottom screen, guys. I actually forgot to do a couple of the things I was supposed to do, so my bad on that. So we don't need to worry about that anyway. That's the home run right there from Dominguez that you guys are seeing. Let's see it again in slow motion. There it goes. I mean, what do you see in that swing? Is there a comp that you actually see in that swing a little bit?
So it's not pulling up for me, but I have watched it enough that it's kind of burned into my memory.
Right.
I don't really see a comp that jumps out to mind. What I see is excellent barrel to ball skills. Mm-hmm. He just barreled it up, and he barreled it up twice, and that's why his exit velocity is consistently high. I saw good balance at the plate. I saw a nice helicopter finish. That was fun. Yep. I see a guy who is just incredibly strong. I mean, he's gotten even stronger. Obviously, he's still growing. He's still young.
Oh, yeah.
But he's much stronger than he was last year, and he was already really strong.
Yep.
I see a guy that, and I know a lot of people are going to say this is crazy, looks like he's getting ready to break through and become like one of those top prospects, that's
possible. It should be.
I brought this up yesterday. Michael Kay always talked about Hideki Matsui and how his nickname was Godzilla, and you don't get a nickname like that without doing special things. And he hit the grand slam in his debut at Yankee Stadium. Was always clutch in big moments. And if you remember, the Martian, his first at bat as a pro in the raindrops a few years back, he went deep. We all saw him hit that ball into the trees. Looked like it never came down. Yep. And then last year, his first taste of postseason baseball at AA, he goes absolutely berserker. And then Futures game, he goes deep. And then he obviously has a flair for the dramatic. First spring training at bat in big league camp, hits the longest home run, of the day. So I got to say, I can see how he got the nickname, right? He's just got that extra gear that some guys have, and that's not something that usually goes away,
Yeah, right. And again, just going back to what we were kind of talking about before, I told people this today during game season and all that, even with Volpe. I said, look, when I'm watching a spring training game, I don't care if guys are homering left and right. I don't care if guys are doing this, doing that. I look at the small things. I look at, did this guy get upset he swung 3-0 and he didn't bust it down the line?
Yeah. When
he did that in that game, and I saw the highlight of it, I wasn't gone game season on that one, but I saw it and I said, hey man, that's impressive. Plate discipline was impressive for his age. And one of the things scouts bring up a lot about him is he hasn't played a lot of professional ball.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So to be able to have that type of pitch recognition, to be able to hustle out the box on a ball, maybe he felt like could have got through. Maybe he should have hit it better. He didn't just duck his head and go, oh, well. He almost beat it out on a bullet to first base. That, to me, was more impressive than anything I saw from Dominguez all day. I know he got power. I know he get homers. Yeah. That was more impressive, that he's not one of the guys that's simply saying, I know I'm a top prospect. I know I'm good. Oh, well, I'll be there eventually. He seems like a kid that really does want it from what I saw. And I know people probably, well, it's one spring. I get it. If he only hit the homer and didn't bust it, I'd be on here saying he should have busted it. I want to see those young kids that want it go for it. And to me, I can't give him anything to say he wasn't looking to go for it yesterday. He played hard.
And he can pick him up and put him down, too. I mean, we've heard about the speed that goes along with the power and stuff. Yep. I didn't time it, but it had to be about 3.5 seconds. I mean,
Easy.
That guy
it was down the line quick.
If you had to assign a number like 0 to 100, like it was an MLB The Show rating, I'd put him at about like an 89 in speed.
Yeah, got to be in the 80s. He got to be in the 80s. And look, I know, okay, left-handed batter, but look, he doesn't have the Ichiro left-handed swing where he's halfway out the box when he hits it.
Right.
And again, I think, matter of fact, I think the first ball he hit was 102 miles an hour off the bat, if I'm correct.
It was 102.7, and then the home run was 109 point something.
All right, well, right there you go, guys. I mean, that is a bullet. That's a bullet hit to the first baseman. So, yeah, Derek, you're right. Gotta be in the 80s. A guy like him busted down the line, I'll be honest, I'm more excited about Dominguez today than I was a couple of days ago when I haven't seen enough of him. I'm more excited now.
I know that stats don't matter, right? I mean, in spring stats don't matter. But let's just play the hypothetical game. Hicks goes 1 for 22 this spring with 18 strikeouts. Cabrera doesn't do much.
Don't do it to me, Derek.
And then Dominguez hits 462 with 5 bombs.
Play him.
Start him. Put him up there. I mean, it's not going to happen. But
it's not going to happen.
But crazier things have happened.
Crazier things, as my father always told me back in 2004, when the Yankees were up 3-0, I started talking trash. Everybody here knows. He said, Pete, calm down because stranger things have happened. I said, this has never happened before.
Yeah.
And here we are today. And that's why I remember that so well. But Derek, I don't disagree with you, man. I'm not joking. I don't disagree with you. Look, Derek is right what you just said. Is it probably going to happen? Probably not. But look, we've heard so much. Okay, I'll make it even easier. Are you more confident about the Yankees come opening day if Volpe's at third base and Dominguez is in left field?
I mean, there's going to be growing pains if that happens, right? I would expect those guys to struggle coming out of the gate, but I think I would be more excited to watch the games. I think I would be more engaged as a viewer.
Definitely.
I really think and I think we should definitely get and spend some time on Volpe, and I know you want to.
We will, yes.
Because I didn't get a chance to see him very much today. Yeah. But I don't know if he's played much third base, but just the way he swung the bat today, I'd have him at third base tomorrow just to make sure he can, if he continues to hit and run, have him where he can fill in.
Yeah, and my whole thing with that is, at the end of the day, look at the production that they would have to do better than. It's not much. You know what I mean?
That's true.
To be fair, if Dominguez can come up and somebody goes, hey, Pete, look, here's the thing about Dominguez. He's going to bat only 240. He's going to hit 22 homers and have 74 RBIs. Give me him. Are you kidding me? Give me him. What's Volpe going to do? Hit 250, steal about 30 bags. Give me him.
Yeah. What did Hicks hit last year? 216 with 8 home runs. You can't tell me Dominguez wouldn't hit 220 with 10 home runs.
His slugging percentage was like 390.
Ugh.
How is that even possible?
For a professional athlete, I mean, I would be embarrassed if I was that bad.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like
100%.
if I did a whole year of recaps
Yeah.
and I got 500 views a night, I'd be like, you know what? Maybe I'm not too good at doing fucking recaps. And that's the position Hicks is in. Now, to be fair, if I was still getting paid $10 million to do it, I would keep doing it.
You'll still do it, of course.
I'm still showing up every night.
So we got a member chat from LI Yankee King. He says, I love what I'm seeing from the prospects. I wish we had a new manager / GM that won't mess them up, but my untouchables are Flo, Jones, Peraza, Volpe, Dominguez. All right, well, look, man, it is what it is. You know, these guys aren't going nowhere, LI. I know you hate Brian Cashman. I know you dislike Aaron Boone. You want Manny Acta, which I don't know where the hell that comes from, but okay. But it is what it is. Moving on to another prospect that I got the pleasure of watching today, and even a little more background of meeting, hearing him speak, talking to his father quite often, Anthony Volpe. I'll be honest with you, man. Anthony Volpe today looked like a Major League ball player. He looked like a Major League ball player.
I missed it. I didn't get to see it. Tell me how he looked on defense. How are his at-bats? Good. I saw the hits, but
there was one play where, and again, the reason I brought this up in Game Season Live, I said, people, listen to me when I say this. Don't see this as a negative. I'm not knocking him. But there's a reason why Peraza should be the starting shortstop, and he shouldn't be a shortstop. This is not a knock on Volpe. There was a ball hit to his right side. He had to get basically on his knees to make the backhanded play. He got up and threw to first, fine. The throw was a good throw. It wasn't a zip line. It was a decent throw, and the guy beat it out.
Okay.
But this is, again, what I've heard from advanced scouts and other people, is that Peraza is just an elite fielder. He's been since he's 14 years old. That is not a knock on Anthony Volpe. But on this club, Peraza is a better shortstop. If he was on another team and the Yankees didn't have Peraza, leave him at short. 100%, he can handle it. But he looked good overall. The most impressive thing that I saw, one, he's very aggressive. I am noticing that. So he reminds me of somebody that could really bat at the top of the order. He was very aggressive, at least today. Stole second base, stole third base, looked phenomenal doing it. But the thing I like the most, Derek, is he has a very nice inside-out swing.
Yeah.
And he gets inside pitches and pellets it to right field. He just hits bullets to right with it.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a sign of a kid that could bat for a high average. And I love that.
As a major league pitcher, how often, especially, do you hear the announcers that used to be pitchers, the David Cohns and today the Jeff Nelson, which I think you missed, but talk about the importance of pitching right-handed hitters inside, right? If you can't go inside because he just shoots it to right field, it's like, how do you get this guy out, right? You throw it outside and you risk him barreling it up. You risk that ball tailing out over the middle. And the fact that he has some power to go along with it, I mean, I got to say, everything that I've seen from him, the hype is real.
100%.
And I'm not somebody who always believes the hype in prospects. I mean, if I think a prospect is garbage, I'll tell you. You know, I never thought Manny Banuelos was going to be anything. Mm-hmm. You know, I even look at Clark Schmidt a lot of times, and I didn't see first round draft pick there. But look, Volpe, everything I've seen is this guy is a baseball player. Mm-hmm. He is a pain on the bases.
That looked like one of the best part of a game today. I mean, it wasn't even close. It wasn't close.
How much fun is it going to be to see the stolen base and the action on the bases back in baseball? I missed it.
Oh, it's baseball. I mean, look, baseball's an athletic ball game. It should be an athletic ball game. And that's one of the things we're going to get into the rule changes and really talk about that in depth, but it's a part of the game that shouldn't be missing. It really shouldn't be. Anthony Volpe overall today, again, one of the things I really like too, you can see the IQ that people talk about and go, hey, look, the tools may not be a Soto and these other guys, the tools, but the mind is there. The mind is there. Because one of the things you hear about him, and I'm just being honest, is that the mind makes the tools better than what they are.
Yes.
And that is fine, because look, guess who? That was the same thing with Derek Jeter. Jeter wasn't A-Rod. He wasn't belting 450 feet home runs. He had enough tools, but the mind was even better. You can see his mind always working in the game, and you see that with Volpe. The stolen bags today, he knew it beforehand. He said, hey, look, I saw this guy's read going home. He stole second. He walked to third base. He knew it immediately. He said, I'm just taking it. And he took it. It wasn't close. He's going to do that at this level. This kid's a stolen base threat.
Yeah, I was watching just some of the highlights, and it looked like his jumps were really good. I saw that the first stolen base of second base was on a pitch out, which he stole it easy on a pitch out, Pete. That's not something you see very often.
Nope.
Now, it wasn't a great throw, but you got to argue that a major league catcher should be able to throw down to second if the runner isn't pressuring you that much, which tells me he was really putting pressure on him. So, I think there's a lot to like. I think the youth movement is real. We saw some good arms in the game against the Braves. We saw Clayton Beeter. We saw Will Warren, but two guys that are in the top 10 prospects. Davy Garcia wasn't bad. You might have missed Albert Abreu.
I did.
Now he's a guy who been a four-seam fastball most of his career, right? High four-seamers and stuff. Today, the sinker. He broke the sinker out. Nice. 99 miles an hour. He exploded. He exploded the first bat he faced, and then struck out the next guy on a diving 99-mile-an-hour sinker. And I'll tell you, his action had the same action on it that Jonathan Loaizaga gets, where it's just like a hard two-seamer that's not just down, but kind of down and like towards the 4 or 5 o'clock on a clock, kind of down and right. And I think that's going to lead to a lot of those broken bats and stuff like that. I got to say, I just was very, very encouraged by what I saw from the Yanks today.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, look, another guy too that I got a new nickname for him, so I hope he gets to the majors. Andres the Giant Chaparro.
Oh, man. Bat speed.
That's my guy.
You want to talk legendary bat speed? Go watch some highlights. There's a guy named Yankees Farm who always posts. He's probably in the chat right now.
He's part of our team.
Oh, okay. So he's
NyynewsTV,
So he always posts videos of guys and I watched the Chaparro highlight reel. Holy mackerel. This guy has got some lightning fast hands.
Huge. And that home run today, I mean, when he hit it, he pimped it. And I'm like, yeah, man, pimp that home run. I mean, that ball, I don't think that ball landed. That ball's in the ocean somewhere. I'm telling you right now. I mean, that ball was smacked. I don't know where he plays in defensively. I know Yankees Farm was in the chat, and he said that he's a natural third baseman. First base, he's kind of new at it. Played first base today, kind of struggled a bit on a pop-up. Second baseman Bastidas caught it and was able to make the play. But here's another guy with just, huge power. I'll tell you what, another guy I'm very impressed with. I like Elijah Dunham a lot.
I didn't get a chance to see him. What'd you like?
I like him a lot, man. Good speed, very good outfielder. I do see him more as a fourth outfielder. But I tell you what, I think this is a guy, again, very good speed, good glove, surprising pop. He can hit the ball pretty far. I think he had a 2-for-3 game today. A couple of hard hit singles right up the middle. Made a diving catch in right field. The Yankees got a crop, man. I think their system is underrated. I think they were ranked as one of the underrated systems in baseball, too, by a few people. But they do, man. There's a lot of guys. Johnny Brito didn't look bad today. Johnny Brito didn't look bad. I definitely want to see Austin Wells. I got a chance to be up close to watch Wells catch a full game with Luis Medina on the mound, who's no longer with the Yankees. But early on, Medina was wild, and he made a lot of nice blocks, man. I know people says his defense has really stepped up a lot, and they think that he has a chance to remain at catcher, but he's another guy that can hit the ball a ton. There's surprisingly a lot of good guys in the system for the Yankees.
Yes, Sweeney had a nice swing today. He doubled. It was a ground rule double. He thought he got it, and he didn't really bust it out of the box, but it was a classic lefty swing. Big athletic guy. He played a little bit of shortstop. I was hoping they would give him some time at third base. I think Peraza had one hit today. It wasn't hit particularly hard, but he did what we talked about last time where he had the level. He was off balance, but it was level through the zone, which allowed him to pick up one of those little duck snorts that I think he's going to get a lot of.
Yeah, Peraza is a guy that he just needs to put the ball in play. As much as he puts the ball in play, again, with his speed, and that's another thing to look into, man. With the rule changes now, and as Derek said, with steals being more in his game, Peraza's there. Volpe's very, very close. Right there, you're arguably adding 70-plus stolen bags, potentially, at the major. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but they got the potential to do that, if not more.
And don't forget
that's
Hicks. He's going to go
wreak havoc.
30-30, right?
Yeah, Hicks will probably have 50 stolen bags this year. So, I mean, we know Aaron Hicks is definitely going to do it. I think he had a couple of Ks today. Donaldson had a little roller up the middle for a base hit. Never should have been a base hit, but it was. And then he K'd, and I think his last at bat he walked. But again, I mean, it's funny because you saw Volpe and then you see Donaldson. And I remember early on, I'm like, man, just give this guy a third base glove and be like, Volpe, learn the position as quick as you can. Learn it as fast as you can and get up here.
I wish the Yankees would play a split squad every Friday so we could both watch a different game, or every Sunday. We could both watch a different game. So one more thing, just my last takeaway from the game today was Gleyber Torres picked up a base hit up the middle. He's off to a good spring. Yeah. And it was one of those ones that with the shift on, easy ground out. But it was right up the middle, like you said. Fought it off, picked up a base knock. If he can just do that a few more times this year, he'll have a nice year.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, man. I'm excited about Gleyber Torres this year. I hope he's playing with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. I really am. I hope he recognizes that, hey, look, if the Yankees, haven't talked to me about extensions yet, or there's been none of those conversations, they got all these young kids coming up. They're forgetting I'm 20, in my mid-20s, 26, 27, whatever he is. They're forgetting that I'm soon to be a free agent. Guess what? I'm trying to line myself up with a big contract.
Yeah.
And he has a chance. I mean, if he puts together a really strong year, one, it's good for the Yankees, but two, it's good for himself.
Yeah.
It's good for himself and his future.
I was looking at the free agent lists for next year, and a lot of them are Yankees, like the big names. Like you got Bader, Gleyber Torres is coming up. And then who else we got? Severino. Yeah. I think is Gleyber a free agent after this year?
No, next year.
No, next year. So it's Severino, Bader, and I saw Jordan Montgomery's back out there. He would have been a free agent.
Right.
It's just gonna be.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. And you said Bader.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this all plays out with the logjam.
No doubt about it. It is definitely going to be interesting as spring training goes on. It is. It's going to be interesting to see who gets sent out early, who stays, how long they stay for. So there's definitely a lot of things to look forward to. And speaking of looking forward, we got a whole new season to look forward to with new rules.
Oh, yeah.
So what I want to do first is I got the rules pulled up. I'm going to read the rule, and then we can discuss it however we like to do it, however the Spittaz do our thing, we do our thing, okay? So the first new rule is the shift. So here's the rule. At the time the pitch is thrown, all four infielders are required to be on the infield dirt or infield grass with two on each side of second base. Players will be able to move as soon as the ball leaves the pitcher's hand. Originally, infielders who began the game on one side of the field would not be allowed to switch to the other side for the entirety of the game, but that was revised to just each inning, unless there's a mid-inning substitution. In other words, a player who starts an inning at first or second base has to remain on that side of the field for the whole inning, but can switch to short or third the next inning. If there's an injury mid-inning, then the infield can be reset. So the one thing I noticed today, there really isn't. There's a difference, but it's not as significant as some people probably think. Some of those balls up the middle are still going to be caught.
Yeah. So where it's going to make a difference is definitely with a runner on first base.
Right.
It's going to open that hole back up, right?
True.
Because you can't station somebody behind second base bag and then still put somebody in right field. Aaron Hicks picked up a base hit today on a situation like that. You had to cover second. You had to pretty much play straight up the middle double play depth because of the shift with a runner on first base. And that just opened it up, and Hicks was able to hit a soft bouncer. Of course, it was a soft bouncer. Soft little chopper through the right side and picked up a base hit. Yankees had 3 hits in a row, and that led to a grand slam. And I think just little things like just shifting somebody over and allowing a ball to go through is going to lead to some big innings.
Unfortunately, when you said Aaron Hicks, I want to bring up another player from earlier today that looked very, very good. Willie Calhoun. Willie Calhoun just missed a homer, then a right field line for a double, had another single, played a decent left field, but he had him in left. Just wanted to, throw it out there as another guy that's there.
He's somebody that Boone keeps mentioning as like a possibility. Like, don't forget this guy.
If anybody knows much about Willie Calhoun, I talked about him today. Willie Calhoun has actually always been a good hitter as long as he's healthy. He's just never been healthy.
Yeah.
He's had a couple of years where he plays multiple games and he puts up decent numbers. So he is definitely a guy, in my opinion, that if he can stay healthy and put on a show, I do believe he probably starts in AAA. But he's a guy that I agree with Boone on that one, that you might wanna look out for. But I don't know. I don't know if anybody beats Hicks for that position, unfortunately. The next rule is the good old pitch clock. So here's the new rule. Pitchers will have 15 seconds to throw a pitch with the bases empty and 20 seconds with a runner on base. Hitters will need to be in the batter's box with 8 seconds on the pitch clock. And again, if you guys have saw this already, if they're not, they could have 2 strikes and be rung up, or they just get a strike no matter what. It could be end of a game. It could be a bases loaded situation that we've already seen. They just got to get their ass in that box.
Yeah, I'd like the pitch clock, honestly. And I have no problem with the length of games. I enjoy a nice long game.
I agree.
But the problem is the pace of play. They mentioned on the broadcast today that it was an average of 4 minutes between balls in play. And for the average fan, when you're trying to grow the sport, imagine if there was one basket shot every 4 minutes in basketball or something.
Right,
it's not a great way to get young fans engaged
Yeah.
in an era where we can look at our phone and TikTok 100 million times in over a 4 minute span.
I was just going to say that. Bad Dog brought that up to me yesterday. And it was a great point. Really, really good point. He's right. In the era of things like TikTok, where videos could be 15 seconds, people want instant gratification. They want to put something on and enjoy it and quick and get to the next thing. The thing that bothers me about baseball, and there's a couple of more rules, pickoffs, and all that I will get to, but I want to talk about this while it's hot. Talked about this a little on Game Season Live today, but one of the things you hear a lot about is that they want to grow this game. Let me tell you something right now. I don't necessarily believe that just speeding the game up is going to grow the game itself. The thing that bothers me about baseball is they do a horrible job of marketing some really cool players.
Yeah.
Some players that can really get people excited. I don't see... back in the day, Hulk Hogan would be in cartoons?
Yeah.
And it's like, they got cartoons of Hulk Hogan? Well, yeah, he's like the biggest thing on the planet right now. Where's the Aaron Judge cartoon? Where's the Aaron Judge comic strip that could be played through TikTok and superhero stuff? And I'm talking about a younger generation of fans. They don't do things at stadiums anymore for fans to have fun. You gotta, they don't let you come in very early to get autographs, to talk with players and have a good time. Everything is kind of like, hey, just watch at home and, we'll try to speed the game up for you. I'm like, to me, that's not good enough. You want kids to enjoy this. You want kids to be like, wow, this guy's bigger than life. This guy's this 7-foot giant Aaron Judge hitting bombs miles away and King of New York. I mean, have fun with these guys.
Yeah, I mean, part of it's a marketing personnel problem, I think, too. I mean, a lot of the people that are marketing... look, if you're good at marketing, you're not going to lose your job. And these people, they're working for a multi-billion-dollar industry year in, year out. But a lot of the people I think that are responsible for putting the faces on the game are now in their 50s, 60s. Yeah. How out of touch? Like, I don't know what these apps are that these kids are using in these days, right?
You're right.
Really, they need to bring in some youth to kind of bridge the gap, I think, there. And, do you remember that cartoon that it was like Bo Jackson and Michael Jordan?
Yes,
and,
yes.
What was that called? Like All American something?
I don't remember what it was called, but I know exactly what you're talking about. And that's kind of that's kind of the point I was getting at is you got guys like Mike Trout. You got Shohei Ohtani. Yeah. You got Aaron Judge. You got Soto. You got Jazz Chisholm. Jazz Chisholm's a character. Yeah. He's on the cover of the show. Well, hey, look, most fans, I hate saying it, most fans don't even know who he is. Yeah. Well, that's actually a decent move by I know they got a lot of crap for putting him on the cover, but I think, that's a good move by San Diego Studios to get him on the cover of the game. And then a savvy move to get Derek Jeter, who's 100%. Always been a face for the older fans who can afford the more expensive edition. I know I pre-ordered it. So yeah, we're giving, by the way, guys, too, remember March 6th, we're giving 2 of those away on Twitter. So go on Twitter and do that. You still got time at NyynewsTV. Yeah. So I think once you connect the right marketing people with the right players, I would love to see, some of these 15-second videos, like you said, with guys like Giancarlo Stanton who are funny, get some of the characters in the game. I like what they did with
miking up the players on ESPN last year.
Yes,
that's something that should
often.
continue. Yeah. There's a few other things. I mean, they should take advantage of some of the technology. Do you remember the catcher cam that they had in the 90s?
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was awesome.
Remember the one? I still remember the video of it. The Bernie Williams home run.
Bernie Williams home run.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's one of the coolest baseball angles you'll ever see. It was literally one of the best of all time, and you don't see it.
Yeah, they should.
You don't see it.
You can add a camera that's, this big now, and just stick it in the helmet. They won't even notice it's there.
Yeah.
You can put little cameras inside the bases and all sorts of stuff, and just capture a lot more cool angles. I like what Major League Baseball does with the creator cuts that they post, where it's just like the fan cam. Yep. I think they should do more of that inside the game. I think there's I'm a marketing person, and if Major League Baseball wants to hire me, they're welcome. But if I were doing marketing for Major League Baseball, I would say get 1 seat or 2 seats in every stadium and install a 360-degree virtual reality camera. I want to be able to log on to my Oculus or to some of the future systems that are coming out there, like the Apple VR that's coming out next year, and be able to watch the game. Like, I would pay a subscription to be able to go to any stadium in VR and watch the game with no announcers and surround sound. Like, that's something that they should be doing, but they're not.
Look, you got to move forward with the times. That's just how it is. Everything in life is like that. You got to start learning how to grow the game in today's times. And that's a good point. Lorenzo just brought that up. I was making jokes about it early on, but it made a lot of sense. Nickelodeon doing the football games. Yeah. They did like all the slime on the screen and all this. But again, this is just what I'm saying. You want to look, Derek, I could probably speak for you on this. We started watching games in our youth, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. I was watching baseball games with my dad, I remember. I saw these guys almost like as superheroes almost at that age. I had them all over my room. It was everything to me. But now there's so much other things out there for kids. There's so much other things. Other sports are doing a better job than Major League Baseball is. And I really think, as you said, I think you got content creators. You got people who love doing these things. You got, like you said, virtual reality. There's a lot of cool tools that you can use in Major League Baseball to get more young fans to want to be a part of it.
Yeah, I think, and that's one of the reasons I think podcasting is so popular, right? I think podcasting is the future of Major League Baseball coverage.
100%.
One of the reasons I do it, I think Sweeney Murdy agrees. He just joined Major League Baseball from WFAN. He can read the writing on the wall, and I think they're going to be developing a lot more content. I mean, I've got some ideas for some stuff that I'm kind of keeping under my hat, but the future of content creation with baseball, it will be more accessible, and it won't take 3 hours to watch it. But I really think that there's a lot of stuff out there with potential that nobody's tapping into yet.
Yeah, definitely. There's no doubt about it. Speaking of the changes, still, we got the pickoff rule. Pickoffs are one version of a disengagement, which consists of any time the pitcher makes a pickoff attempt, fakes a pickoff, or simply steps off the mound for any reason, as well as when the defense requests time. So remember that, guys. Not only the pitcher, the defense requesting time is also a part of this rule. Pitchers are allowed 2 disengagements per plate appearance without penalty. The disengagements rule resets if a runner or runners advance a base within the same plate appearance. So this is where you're going to start seeing that athleticism take off in this game, because guys are going to be running.
Yeah.
They're going to be running.
If anybody missed it, Davy Garcia had a really nice pickoff at second base.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw a highlight of that.
And it wasn't close. I think that you're going to see more successful pickoffs because you're going to see guys trying to gamble on the clock, right? Yep. They're trying to gamble. All right, we know how long it takes for him to get rid of the ball. He hasn't used his pickoff yet, but I'm going to get a little bit of a jump here. And I think you're going to see, and guys are going to take slightly bigger leads too, knowing that the base is just a little bit closer. I think you might get an extra 6 inches just to give yourself a little opportunity. So I hate pickoffs in general. I think it's boring when somebody throws over to first base 8 times in an at-bat. So I'm a big fan of this rule.
Yeah, I like it too, man. I just like the idea that the game is going to, look, And hey, I've seen some older people get mad about this. Hey, be happy. The game's going to be more like you like it. You know what I mean? It is.
Exactly.
I mean, it is. Hey, I hear all the time, Pete, you know what the Yankees need? What's that? They need a Ricky Henderson again.
Yeah.
Well, there's not many guys won like Ricky Henderson, but you're going to see some more stolen bases this year. So if stolen bases are your thing and, hey, take that extra bag, there you go. You're going to see that again. Speaking, Derek already brought this up of things being a little closer. Bigger bases. The size of bases will be increased from 15 inches to 18 inches. Why they're doing a change? The increase in the size of the bases should reduce injuries around them while increasing stolen base attempts. So again, It's a way to get more action into the game. And I will say this. There are a lot of injuries every year because of the bases are a little smaller. And again, guys, I get it. Some people just like to stay old school. I understand that opinion. I get it. You also got to remember, baseball is a business. These guys are now investments. The most you can do to keep them healthy, you'd want to do it. And on top of that, if you want to grow the game, you kind of want the stars playing. Yeah. So you want to reduce anything like that if you can. And I have no problem with the big bases. They do look like a pizza box, but okay. Yeah. I said it today. Rounding second base. Wait, he stops for a slice of pepperoni. That would be great.
They also flatten them out a little bit too, which I think is an underrated part of this. Anybody who's played baseball and has experienced the slightly raised or humped style of the bases, it's difficult when you're landing flat on something on a curved surface and you're wearing spikes. Sometimes it gets a little slippery. I mean, those bases are dangerous. And I think a lot of those hamstring injuries that you see come from those close plays at first base, or guys trying to beat it out, maybe steps a little bit funny. Yep. I thought they should have extended first base a little bit wider into foul territory. Even in some places, I know it's a softball thing, but you see like a second bag. I don't know if they need to go that far, but if you think about it, you're running down the first baseline, you have to run in foul territory, right? There's like a carved out line that you have to run in foul territory, but the base is in fair territory. It's completely in fair territory. Right. So you have to take an angle. And they do that because, the thought is you round going towards second, but on a ball that's an infield ground ball, you're not only taking an inefficient route, but you're causing an awkward movement, having that. So I think they should have extended it into foul territory, personally.
And yeah, no doubt. You get hyperextensions on your kneecap, slamming hard into the base. You get twisted ankles, broken ankles. This is all stuff we've seen in Major League Baseball. And again, one of the things I even talked about getting back to changing the game up a little bit and making it more interesting, I see people also get mad about bat flips and things like that. I love it. I didn't get mad. Look. Chaparro hit a home run today, did like a little gallop around the base. Cool, man. Make it more fun. Now, here's the only thing I would say. Pitchers should be allowed to retaliate. That's all. That's all. I don't care about anything else. You cannot have that happen. You can't have some barking and then say, you're warned. No. No. You got to leave it up to the teams to do what they want to do. And if the pitcher wants to retaliate, if anything is above the waist, he should be out the game. But if he hits him on the buttocks, the butt cheek, who cares? Go on about your day and move on. I think it needs to stay that way.
Yeah, I 100% agree. These are professional athletes. You don't get to the professional ranks without a certain level of confidence and competitiveness.
Damn right.
And when you do what you've trained to do, and then you have success, you should be allowed to celebrate. It's like, when they try to get rid of like any end zone celebrations, how boring did football become?
Oh, my God.
Imagine you're seeing a prize fight, right? And you knock somebody down or you get a knockout and the guy is forced to go stand in his corner with no emotion. Nobody wants to see that. Come on.
Upon Mike Tyson knocks somebody out, he got to sit crisscross applesauce on the floor until he gets up.
Right, exactly. Come on. Let's everything doesn't have to be about somebody's feelings, okay? Yeah. No one cares if you're a little offended that you gave up a 450-foot nuke, make a better pitch.
Bingo.
Right? And if you feel like the guy took it a little bit too far, next time maybe throw a two-seamer that starts a little bit inside off the plate, back his ass off the plate a little bit.
Yeah.
But you don't throw it at somebody's head. But that's just gamesmanship. Sometimes you're going to give up home runs.
Yep.
And, I had a coach in high school, and he used to say whenever somebody would give up a home run, it's not the first time, won't be the last time. Shake it off.
True.
And in my opinion, bat flips are part of the game. Somebody hits a home run, tip your cap, go get the next guy.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. There got to be more of it. One, it's fun. Look, you know what? And I know, look, people are going to say, Pete, yeah, but when they do it, you flip out. Good. That's the point. That's literally the point of it. You want a fan reaction. You want the fans going, man, I hate that Vladdy, man. I hate him. Beat
Emotion.
him. I remember back when Ortiz and Manny back-to-back was the scariest thing for any Yankee fan in the world. We knew they would do something. You never get them out in a row. You knew they would do something. I remember every time saying to myself, well, somebody bean these guys. Somebody hit Ortiz. Then the Yankees got Kyle Farnsworth. And I remember he was on the radio. The first thing they asked him, will you hit David Ortiz? Literally, it was the first question they asked Farnsworth. And because everybody knows Farnsworth's an animal, tackle you run after him. He's a beast. But, I mean, emotion is part of Major League Baseball when it comes to the players and when it comes to the fan. Pinstripe Chronicle, thank you so much for becoming a Real Talk member. We appreciate you, man.
Can we talk about Devers real quick?
We can talk about whatever you like, please.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
Last year, do you remember when?
Oh, I know exactly where you're going. Garrett Cole, yes, sir.
Oh yeah, Garrett Cole. Every time he pitched against Devers, was getting just annihilated. And then finally, he threw a fastball at his hip. You don't have to throw it at a guy's head. He threw it at his hip, made him move his feet, and he worked him that whole game. I think he was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts or something like that, maybe 3 strikeouts. You don't have to be a headhunter, and you don't have to cause physical harm or put somebody's career in jeopardy.
Of course.
But to be a pitcher, you have to throw inside and you have to own the plate. You say, that's my plate. Don't be so comfortable because I got this pill and I will throw it at your hip and I will hurt you. But just that threat should be enough to make guys a little bit uncomfortable.
And Derek, I know you've watched game season lives. You've seen my rants before. One of the things I say a lot is, guys, have some balls. And I don't mean it as, degrading these guys in any way. They're men, they're Major League ball players. But I simply just say, look, I remember when exactly what you just said happened. And I remember what I said. I said, knock his ass down, then you sit his ass down. And that's what he did. Struck him out looking.
Yep. You know who else?
Knocked him down and struck him out looking. I need to see more of that. I hope Rodon does it a lot.
I think I was actually watching when you said that. The guy who I think needs it more than anybody is Bo Bichette. This guy, it seems like a few times a year, he walks off the Yankees in a big spot. Next time he's up there in a big spot, I want Loizaga to come, let her high with that 2-seamer inside off the plate. Just back him up. I'm not saying throw at him. Back him up. Make him uncomfortable.
There's nothing wrong with that. To me, that's baseball. So, guys, to get ready to wrap up this episode of Designated Spittaz, I got a couple of quick things I want to get out there. If you have not liked this video, please go ahead and like this video. Got over 150 in here. Let's get those likes to well over 100. 1 and 2, I got to start saying this again because I always forget. Go to Apple, iTunes, whatever it is, find Designated Spittaz and leave a review. Look, if you don't like it, say you don't like it. If you like it, say you like it. I don't care. I just want the reviews. Why not? Get the reviews up from me and Derek. We're working very hard here. Derek does an amazing job. I hope you guys believe that we do an amazing job here. But also on Spotify, you can catch the replay in video form on Spotify. So it's going to be up very soon. I saw somebody just say something I wanted to talk about. He said, remember this? This is my effing house. Yeah, Carlos Rodon said that.
Yeah.
And guys, I got the shirt already. It literally says my effing house. Carlos Rodon, 55 on the sleeve. Go check it out at NyynewsTV.com. I do have a prediction to make, Derek. There will be a New York Yankees Jays brawl this year. Tensions are getting high with those clubs. They obviously don't like each other. Manoah's still talking in the offseason. Vladdy talk. There's going to be something that happens with those clubs. I think it'll be this year.
I think, first of all, I'm surprised Manoah's taking a break from eating long enough to say anything. But second of all, bring it. That's all I got to say. Bring it.
I like this, Derek. Does this Derek let loose a little bit on Designated Spittaz? Or
so, we were talking about getting kids involved. On my channel, I try and be super family friendly because I want to get kids involved. I was a kid, and I used to watch Baseball Tonight, and I would watch the post-game shows, and I would watch everything. I would listen to the recaps on John Sterling, where he would play the little highlights and stuff like that. And I'm trying to create that environment. I'm trying to create the post-game ecosystem.
Right.
But I'm different than I think a lot of people realize. I'm not Mr. Button Up. Like I'm a little bit harder than that. Like if you knew me in real life, so I'll tell you, I went to a Halloween party last year, And my buddy Rich introduced me to some people that were sitting at a table, and they said, "Hey, this is Derek. It's my buddy Derek." And they said, "Crazy Derek?" And I was just like, "Oh, I guess my reputation precedes me." So
Crazy Derek.
you know,
Well, look, at least we get to get Crazy Derek here on NYY News TV. I'm always down for that because look, you know, I don't know if I'm too kid friendly. Okay, I don't know if Pete is too kid friendly. I have a good time, but hey, it is what it is. You know, this show has been extremely fun to do with Derek so far. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I think you guys almost certainly are. But remember, leave a like before you leave, guys. And look, we don't make the YouTube algorithms up. We just got to play with them, and likes mean something. So
should we promote the event that what's happening next Friday on my channel?
Oh,
NYYPD.
I'm down.
NYYPD. Me and Pete and Frankie Baseball, who a lot of you know from the chat. Yep. We're going to be doing a Friday show throughout the entire season. So the thought was, you know, kind of wrap up the week on Friday night on my show, or kind of a weekly recap. It's a recap show, and then kick off the week on Designated Spittaz, what we're looking forward to, what's on our minds. And, you know, I just think that there's a really nice cross section of people that will enjoy both things. So if you watch this channel, but you don't watch mine, check us out next Friday night. We'll try and put on a good show for you.
Yeah. And I believe we will. Okay, I believe we will. So, guys, you already know the dealio. We will never come whack on a Designated Spittaz track. Until next time, guys, we're out. Adios.